The Pittsburgh Steelers have a player that's starting to move up this depth chart, and I really like this player. I'm talking about second-year cornerback Cory Trice. He was just given first-team reps, and he took advantage of the opportunity. And this is happening when some guys are getting some time off of practice. Dante Jackson got the day off, and we're also looking at a player like Grayland Arnold, who was promoted to first team, getting reps at Pittsburgh Steelers training camp, and this is back on Sunday. Cory Trice was also a regular with the starting defense all through practice, and he's just getting more play. And this is after the team is returning to St. Vincent for practice on Sunday, following their 2012 loss to the Houston Texans to open the preseason. But this is getting some more legs beyond that. And Joey Porter Jr., he spoke out and he said, this guy is just looking for a chance to play, looking for a chance to prove himself. And although he's not going to be looking for a starting spot, he's not going to beat out Porter, he's not going to beat out Jackson. This dude very well might be the next man up when all is said and done after being buried on the depth chart. And we're going to go into the history on that just a little bit. We're also looking at Darius Rush, Anthony Averett. I'm terrible with pronouncing names this week. I'm so sorry. They also took some first team reps at times across from Joey Porter Jr. And I want to get to actually a story that everybody's talking about. I try to avoid it, but it just keeps coming up. And that is about Brandon Aiyuk and this possible trade. It's been in the media that he's only looking to go to Pittsburgh and nowhere else. Here is the latest report, and this is at 4:00 today when I'm filming. So I'm just going to read directly from it. This is from Ian Rappaport, and he's usually pretty reliable. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, he reports the 49ers are nearing a trade with the Steelers in a wild turn of events. Aiyuk may be headed to Pittsburgh after all. The 49ers and the Steelers have agreed to a deal, and the latter is in a good place on a contract with Aiyuk. Rappaport also says that the 49ers have made another offer to Aiyuk, but he has yet to accept. So if San Francisco signs off on this deal, it looks like Aiyuk will finally be a Pittsburgh Steelers. Stay tuned. I don't want to rumor monger, but yeah, it looks like from that report that this might actually get done, and that is very, very exciting. What's even more exciting is finding out what the compensation is, but I'm just going to kind of let that lie. I'm going to go back to this story on SteelersDepot.com. Let's talk about Cory Trice. We're looking at a dude that stands at 6'3". He was a 7th round pick last year, missed all of his rookie season. You guys know this. He was becoming a fan favorite in camp, but he had a torn ACL. Spent part of last week taking reps as a dime hybrid on the first team defense. And we're looking at this time on Sunday. He was part of a pass. He was part of a pass to George Pickens from Russell Wilson that was broken up on the second snap of the 7 shots, 2-point conversion simulation. He also got some nice tape filed in last week's preseason game as well. And I kind of want to look at that. He had a notable play in the opener against Houston. He blew up a quick pass. He got a tackle for a loss in his first NFL action of the year. And there's just a healthy battle going on at cornerback on this team. And that's not beyond the 2 starters. It's just really nice to see a healthy Cory Trice competing. The Steelers get to finally see what kind of player he is, and good luck to this guy for real. He seems like a really good kid. And the Steelers are hoping to get the most out of second-year cornerback Cory Trice Jr., but for now, let's temper expectations. And like I said, we are looking at a guy that's starting to rise up the depth chart. He's getting more play in practice. He's making plays in the preseason. He very well might be the next man up. And I think it's fantastic. And you get a 7th round pick that shows out for your team. I said your team because this is Sports Talk Steelers. I'm your host, Sean. I have a successful Bears channel, Sports Talk Bears. I'm a Bears fan through and through. But you know what? As a Sports Talk family, we are expanding more and more into the NFL. We just love covering it. And I think you guys need a little more love. I want to give you some really good impartial coverage. And I want to be your source for Pittsburgh Steelers news and one of those. So just keep that in mind. I always want to be above board with that. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're hoping to get the most out of this guy. And Trice, as you guys know, 7th round pick. Yeah, this is adding this guy to a class. They also drafted Joey Porter Jr. in that class in the second round, and he was getting some buzz, making plays during minicamp and OTAs. But that torn ACL, it just derailed everything. So now we have to temper it because the excitement's starting to come back, but it's got to be limited. I mean, we're looking at a guy that suffered 2 torn ACLs and an ankle fracture during his college and 1-year NFL career. So he's shown some injury proneness there, not guaranteeing anything. But if he's healthy, this is a guy that really has unlimited upside, and I'd love to see him deliver on that upside. He's getting every opportunity. And I want to go to directly to, according to a direct quote from Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Ray Fittipaldo. The team is very high on Trice, and I always want to give credit at source material. So this is to hear straight from Ray. I think they're intrigued by him, but by no means are they counting on him. And this was said on 93.7 The Fan. When they drafted him, they knew the injury history. That's why he was a guy, he was a day 2 type of talent. But the injuries were such that you could never take him that early in the draft. So if he comes back, if he's really playing well, then great. You got another depth corner, but they absolutely can't go into the draft this last year counting on Cory Trice to contend for a starting job when he's coming off that bad injury. And we're looking at this too, next man up mentality. I don't think any of this hinders the expectations of Trice. We got to see how this goes. He'd still get an opportunity to compete and earn a place within the defense regardless in Pittsburgh. I think the Steelers are likely hoping that he's capable of being a piece of the rotation for years to come. And I want to close with a little bit of fun here. I don't know how consequential this is, but it's just fun. One of the largest players from Alabama to reach the NFL. He's back on the league roster. Monday, he was waived by the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got him. Tykeem Doss on the roster. This guy is listed at 6'5" and 380 pounds. One of the biggest guys you're ever going to see put on an NFL uniform. And he's putting on a Steelers uniform if we can find one that fits. He worked at tackle and guard with Baltimore. And after first round pick Troy Fautanu, after he sustained this knee injury on Friday night in the preseason opener, that was a loss to Houston. The knee injury is expecting to sideline the rookie offensive tackle for at least 2 weeks. So we're looking at just bringing this guy in, kicking the tires, seeing what he can do. He was a prep standout at Aliceville, Alabama. He played for the Yellow Jackets as their mascot. They reached the SAA Class 1A championship game in the 2016 season, so he's been around for a while. 2 seasons at East Central Community College, 3 seasons at Southern Mississippi, and he signed with the Ravens as an undrafted rookie on May 5th, 2023. Spent last season on Baltimore's practice squad, didn't appear in a regular season game, and he re-signed with the Ravens back in January. Baltimore had their preseason opener on Friday night. He got on the field for 1 offensive snap, 2 special team plays in their 16-13 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, I guess they weren't happy with him. The Pittsburgh Steelers were able to pick him up, and it's just kind of a fun pickup. Let's see how he is. Let's see how he does in camp practice as Fautanu is recovering from that injury. And it's a good guy to have in town. It's at least a fun guy to see on the field. He's just a massive human. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe this was a roll the dice that is going to come out, and the Steelers have yet another depth piece on the offensive line. And what's wrong with that, right? You guys, let me know what you think. I had a suggestion to do a story on Cory Trice lately, and I've delivered on that promise. You guys subscribe. This makes it possible for me to keep doing this. And if you have a player you'd love showcased, let me know. I would be happy to do it. You guys enjoy Steel City football this offseason. The preseason is underway, and we'll talk soon. See